Greetings, Bloody Mary. We're here at my Haunted Museum. I'm going to show you my Marie Laveau shrine, for I'm a priestess in the tradition of Marie Laveau. New Orleans voodoo is unique, and my bloodline's been here from the beginning of this displaced European colony, and so has Marie Laveau's. It's been multicultural here from the very beginning. I know that's a sore subject with a lot of people these days, but it always has been. White and black always practice together, voodoo, hoodoo. So we give offerings, food, liquors, I don't know, cigarettes, things that she might have liked in life. And we do that to all the spirits here, for the dead are hungry and the dead are thirsty. We teach you how to connect in ghost hunts, in seance, in private classes.
Yo, we call upon Marie Laveau. Kekila, who is there? Kekila, Marie? Yolali, Mademoiselle Marie. O glorious voodoo queen Marie Laveau, we hail to the queens through thee to look our way, especially you, O glorious matron. We call upon you to help today, O dear patron saint of New Orleans, patron of nurses, doctors, healers, mystics, lovers, mothers, babies, prisoners, politicians, and visitors too. Yolali, patron of the plagues and mother superior of spirit work, who takes the fevers away, O mistress of magic, who helps everyone that comes your way. We pray through you, Mademoiselle Marie, who was born and died in this fair town. We call upon you to be at our side. Teach us fortitude and how to continue on and strive. O devout Catholic and twin true to the voodoo roots of your blood, as well as to the land of which you live and the waters too, we beseech you to help us now. We ask that you, as a survivor extraordinaire, model strength to protect us and help this prayer. Please take this intention from here to over there. Everyone quiet, state your intention, or you may state it out loud. Call upon you, Marie Laveau, to hear our plea. We also ask for healing in the world and balance, so the next phase of living can be instructed by thee and those that know what's going on. So mote it be. Please take this intention from here to over there. Oh, perfection of woman, of woman, mother, teacher, and friend. Teach us to be kind, strong, wise, and humble, so we may find true justice and can begin again. May we tag along on your miraculous ride, and please transfer your healing touch to mine. May your lightning strike and fiery sword transform the wicked, burn away the sad, stir up the lazy, consume the greed and bad. May your magic hand cool us down and balance all the land. Ashe. Ayi Bobo. Amen. So let me get ahead.
Come see some artifacts that Marie Laveau herself owned. Feel the power that's within them. The whole idea of occult collections and haunted collections is that they contain the residual energy of the person or place of which they came from, of which you can connect with, and then they act like a bridge to get to the spirit essence of the person itself. And look over here, and you'll see all kinds of things. Plus at night, we can do ghost hunts that you can watch yourself on playback. Our gorgeous courtyard and outbuildings bring you back into the other side, the Hall of Altars. The altars to the dead. We have dead pets, dead adults, dead children, marriage altar, and the veves for all the loas. We also honor the founding colonial voodoos. And the current ones too. Then we'll go into the store and go shopping. You are in my Voodoo Pharmacy Spirit Shop, which is the gift shop of the Haunted Museum, a 200-year-old building filled with 200 years of life and death, filled with spirits. And I built this as a sanctuary for all the spirits of New Orleans. But there are spirits that came with the place, there's a haunted collection, and there's spirits that come with you. So we do seance and psychic work and spiritual work, and we have classes and tours and, of course, ghost hunts and a paracon too. So I have everything in my store, and a lot of things are handmade. Bones and baubles are here. The gree-grees that I make, and specialty candles and all that jazz. Then there's a hallway of altars that honor the dead, and then more spirit compassion paranormal activity as well as paranormal displays and an occult display.
I've always done one-on-one custom orders for my clients, but we have some things that are ready-made that I make as well. So we have my gree bags, and a gree bag and a mojo bag's not the same, but it is a spirit pouch, and inside are animal, vegetable, mineral matter that is conjured together to make a spirit and a variety of other secret ingredients that you carry and you feed and you work with. It's a spirit ally, all right? So it's not about the individual things in the bag, but how we put them together and create anew from it. And I also have my potions, my powders, my candles, and behind me here is specialty bones and balls, how I say. So the animal medicine aspect of what we do, the animal allies that you have in your life, the empowerment, and what they can teach us is so important. We hope it seems to be all ethically sourced. But again, that's a matter of perspective, I suppose, for the animals are to see. Some things I have done roadkill with certain forms of disinfecting involved, but others I have gotten from people who make sure that the hunters use all of the pieces of the animal of which they have hunted. Hopefully they ate some, and taxidermists throw away the bones. I get the bones, you know? They'll put plastic in them, but I want the bones. And sometimes I do it myself and make a real stinky job of it. But I have animal teeth and gator feet. I got the little gator feet. I got bigger gator feet. Of course, I got the proverbial voodoo chicken feet, but lately I got some duck feet too. You can use the paws of the animals to grasp things and to bring magic and stuff closer to you. We have your fun and friendly, if you look down, raccoon penis bones. That's to get paid and laid. Very big with musicians here and very big in voodoo. I have different kind of skulls, cat skulls, coon skulls, bobcat skulls, you name it. And we have some here, as well as candles and dolls. So if you follow me over here, doll bar, these are the plain dolls that you get to decorate up or even decorate farther with all sorts of goodies. And then we name them, task them, and feed them. I have these great planchettes. They're in a mirror, so you can look at them all hand carved. To have your own planchette, you can even make your own board and use one of these. They're gorgeous. I have lots of other ones, including this funny kitty cat. Where's the cat? The Halloween cat. Meow. Meow. These are my secret weapons here. Doll kit. They are cemetery moss, corpse cloth, bone. You have a stake out of old coffin wood, candle, and more in a little box. These are numbered and very rare, and it's a series. One of the mothers is up here. Reuse coffin handle, cemetery moss, alligator bone, and silk mourning clothes from the early 20th century. Over here, you can see a few other specialty ones too. There's some giant corpse dolls cloth there, some more mourning dolls. There's all kinds, and I make custom ones just for you. So, of course, all the other things that metaphysical shops or voodoo shops have, like tarot cards, jewelry, fabulous crystal balls. All that's missing is you. Oh, look, there's my book. Go get the two books up there, Hauntings, Horror, and Dancing with the Dead. Focus in on the covers of those to show you. I have autograph books, show the voodoo one too. And I have 2 ebooks that I can sell you as well. Coffee Table Book of New Orleans Cemeteries and Ghosts and everything else in the other one. So I have lots of books. I have 4 different books, working on number 5 right now. So here we are. We're in New Orleans. I am Voodoo Queen in New Orleans tradition. I'm Voodoo Mambo Asagwe in Haitian Voodoo traditions. I'm a Mami Isi of the river, which is a river priestess of the water source of my hometown here in New Orleans. Mama knew the spirit of the river like a Lassarine, a mermaid. I was born and raised Catholic like a lot of old New Orleanians are. And we incorporate all those things. I'm twinned into a Celtic religion, an old school one. And I do hoodoo and teach hoodoo and voodoo. All that. And I bring that to you. I have Zoom classes. I have private one-on-one classes. And of course we do classes and tours and all sorts of explores here at sacred sites, healing, psychic readings every day here at the Haunted Museum in New Orleans with Bloody Mary and my wonderful staff. So we have a lot of weddings that we do, voodoo rituals outside, but we teach you and we try to heal you as well as show you around the town. My family's been here for 300 years. I used to joke about being related to half the ghosts, but as time went on, I really found out I was. I'm very proud of my hometown. And I truly wanted to make this as a sanctuary for the spirits. I feel that so many things have been lost since Katrina. So many families who had been here for generations that have just never returned. Customs are being lost and metaphysical traits are being lost. All of it is changing. And I wanted to leave a home so that the stories about the spirits and the stories and the truth about voodoo queens and Marie Laveau and all that are recorded. I wanted this to be a place where they could all feel comfortable if the spirits wanted to come and lay their head or play. So I have a lot of a spirit mom to a lot of children's spirits that are here, and we invite them in and we invite you in to teach you that fear is a 4-letter word. I think it's going on 30 years now that I've opened up and tried to teach spirit communication and connection to witches as well as laymen, and so many people are afraid and have the wrong information out there. Everything's not in the books, and people are taking more and more shortcuts as time goes on. I think we have to honor the ancestors. I think we have to include them, the spirits that built the land of which you live. They're important too, and of course the ones in your family and friends. But there's multi-dimensions and other things besides spirits out there that we need to pay attention to too. And we do all of that here and try to bring it to you and try to record some of the things so that they won't be forgotten. So this is BloodyMaryNewOrleans.com. I am at the Voodoo Pharmacy Spirit Shop at my Haunted Museum in the French Quarter. BloodyMaryNewOrleans.com is a shortcut to remember easily. At Bloody Mary Nola for Instagram and TikTok. And I'm putting little 1-minute videos out there on TikTok, so those of you that haven't joined yet, you might be able to, get some interesting things up on TikTok. You can't go in depth, but you can get more than you think across in a minute. So I'm doing all these different things. I have a YouTube, but I haven't really gone in there in depth lately, but I'm gonna try. That's Bloody Mary New Orleans. All those things and more. Well, I do so many things. I was just trying to give you a little taste on what I do, but all in all, I am a spokesperson, a Mama EC, a priestess of my hometown, New Orleans, and her magics. New Orleans is unique, so her voodoo is unique, and so are her spirits. And my place is a sanctuary for all the spirits of New Orleans. When you come here, I can take you on not just tours, but adventures, experiences, explores, and we go to power sites and sacred sites to connect and to cleanse and to give offerings. Anyway, my place is in the French Quarter, but I can take you shopping if you call me by phone. I can make you things. In particular, we can do Zoom classes for your group, your coven, your personal needs. We do all kinds of things, and I can take you on tour too and entertain you. So I'm Bloody Mary. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Bloody Mary Nola. Nola is New Orleans, Louisiana, N-O-L-A. So at Bloody Mary Nola, hashtag Bloody Mary Nola. At Bloody Mary New Orleans on YouTube, BloodyMaryNewOrleans.com. All sorts of different places. You can find me on Etsy. That's Bloody Mary Voodoo Shop, Etsy.com. And I've got some stuff on my site, but I've got way more in the shop that I can send just to you. Why don't y'all come on down? New Orleans and New Orleans voodoo and hoodoo are waiting for you. And I always say you can practice hoodoo without voodoo, but not voodoo without hoodoo. Hoodoo is the folk magic that surrounds it. We had a Latin Catholic-based background. The slaves were Catholicized, so all these things did blend. Everybody officially was Catholic here, but everybody also dabbled in an aspect of voodoo because it grew along with the culture. Some areas it hid, and then after revolution and time, it emerged. It was kind of the opposite here. Grew along out and openly for everyone to dabble in an aspect of,
and went underground after the turn of the 20th century, and as many things did with our previous Creole culture. You have to realize we had the only free meeting place for the slaves in all of North America here, Congo Square. It became a tourist site in the late 1700s. People came to watch these wild and unusual dances. They went to shop at the markets where slaves sold things in order to save money to buy their freedom, crops that they had grew, extra foods that they had created, skills like basketry and metalwork, and talismans, gree-gree, and other voodoo and hoodoo things too. It's always been here. We've always been here, and the magic of the spirit of place blended in through the teachings of the local indigenous people and Africans and Native American Indians and Europeans all intermarried very early on here, bodies and souls. Swamp magic, it's at the source of it all. I'm a swamp witch, though I'm not a witch, but I'm a swamp witch. I'm okay with that. I'm a voodoo priestess, voodoo mambo, a Sagwe in Haitian voodoo, voodoo queen in New Orleans tradition, Mama EC, a priestess and an avatar of the river. That's kind of what that is. To Mama New, as well as a leader and a teacher of Marie Laveau tradition. She is our priestess. She is our spirit guide, our patron saint, so many things. In Haitian voodoo, it's called Matet, like your spirit of head, but she's for the entire town in many, many ways. So I want all of you to come to New Orleans, to call me if you need me, and I'll see you soon.
Good evening and Scorpio blessings. My name is Phoenix Starstone, and I am a holistic health practitioner and certified massage therapist based out of Orange County, California, recently relocated here to Orange County, New York as a licensed massage therapist in the Hudson Valley. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's Moon, Serpent, and Bone Full Moon Magical Market, celebrating April's Scorpio full moon. Tonight, I actually would love to talk to you about spiritual practices and how you can incorporate a simple honoring into your daily routine that can help you to strengthen your relationship with yourself, your ancestors, the elements and elementals, the gods and goddesses, or just simply the magic around you, whatever it is that you choose to align yourself with. Now, a little bit more about me. As a holistic health practitioner, I have a scope of practice that usually just covers the physical body as well as the energetic body. So massage therapy, energy therapy, skincare therapy, stretch therapy, and even spiritual mentorship. So whether you're coming to me for body work, energy work, or spiritual work, aura cleansing, chakra balancing, acupressure, stretching, massage, tarot card, oracle card readings, channeling, or even a master angel guide session, we focus on what works for you, what interests you, and what you are drawn to. And we follow that path for as long as you and I are meant to work together. No two sessions will be the same, but each one will be blessed with a purpose and intention and a goal that is unique to you, the client. So let's find your internal rhythm and get you back in sync with yourself. I would love to invite you to check out my website at daniellozano.net. Feel free to email me tonight at daniel@daniellozano.net. If you have any questions, if you would like any more information, references, and sources, I'm offering free 30-minute consultations this evening to everyone who's attending the Magical Market tonight, so that you and I can sit down and discuss what's going on with you, what's going on with in your life, and figure out a unique practice that is special to you to help you find fulfillment, happiness, and joy in your life. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope that you take the time to watch the other presenters, check out the readers and everything else that's going on tonight. Immerse yourself in the energy, and I hope that you find everything that you're searching for on your journey of life and healing. Many blessings, and thank you so much on this Scorpio night.
When I approach magic, ritual, or a spiritual practice, I always think about this. Is what I'm doing energetically balanced within the 5 spiritual elements of earth, air, water, fire, and spirit? The building blocks of life, 5 different aspects of our personalities. Aspects of the elements are just simply different aspects of ourselves. So why not associate the elements, our ritual tools, with necessary components of human life based on some basic spiritual needs? For example, success, significance, surrender, survival, and stillness. This is what works for me, and this is how I incorporate it into my life and onto my altar. And in my opinion, if you incorporate this into your daily practice and life, you're already way ahead of the game. Success. It corresponds to the north, earth, revelation, and the pentacle. Others can define success for us, or we can define success for ourselves. Until you can see yourself clearly, inside and out, success will always truly be a series of false horizons as you fulfill the visions and expectations of others. Experiencing a revelation where you can see and understand this doesn't make you immune to problems and perceived failures. It expands your capacity to handle them, which in turn expands your capacity to take on bigger challenges and projects. Significance corresponds to the east, air, time, and the athame. Time is precious, and time is fleeting, and we treat it like we have an infinite amount of time given to us. Ever heard, youth is wasted on the young? Significance, to me, is about the quality of your time lived, or time well spent. Is trying to change things we can't, or control the uncontrollable, truly worth the time and energy we dedicate to it? Is the principle of the matter truly that significant to you? Let it go. Is not saying something is not important or that something else is more important. It is a choice to dedicate time only to that which will bring significant fulfillment to our lives only. Surrender corresponds to the west, water, virtue, and the chalice. You do not resign your power or success when you surrender, but instead experience a spiritual victory when you surrender fully. The difference? Giving up on the outcome and letting go of your attachment to the outcome. Expect nothing and everything comes to you. Survival corresponds to the south, fire, will, and the wand. Through faith, patience, resilience, and conviction, I believe that anything is possible. Without faith, we become bitter. Without patience, we can't persist through our journey. Without resilience, we will give up at first sign of difficulty. And without conviction, we are persuaded by others to live our lives according to their opinions. Stillness corresponds to the center, spirit, ether, and the self. It is within these moments of stillness where we can allow ourselves to connect to the voice within, the voice of faith and unwavering conviction. Stillness teaches us to pay attention instead of seeking it.
So at this point, you're probably asking yourself, how can a spiritual practice help me? Well, a spiritual practice can actually help you to better understand yourself and your life and everything that's going on in it. It's intended to increase your capacity to handle anything and everything that life throws your way, even the ups and downs that will inevitably come our way. Take suffering, for example. Everyone experiences suffering. More often than not, it's a choice, a state of mind, but it is something that we can move out of if we recognize the necessity of that moment of struggle, that moment of conflict, that moment of suffering, disappointment, or dissatisfaction. That's when we can grow. That's when we progress. That's when we are challenged to evolve. And in terms of the collective conscious, when one person grows, we all grow. When one person learns, we all learn. When one person accomplishes, we can all accomplish. So as solutions, ideas, and energy meet and intersect, that is a place where we can be, and we can shift into a new paradigm, a new perspective, a new state of mind, where together we can make the impossible possible. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for taking into consideration the things that I've talked about here today. And I hope that you enjoy my version of practice that I'm going to be sharing with you now. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to meeting you in our free 30-minute consultation today to talk about your life, your spiritual journey, and how we can incorporate a spiritual practice into your life. Definitely check out my website, daniellozano.net, and feel free to email me at daniel@daniellozano.net. And I look forward to speaking to you, and blessings again on this Scorpio night. Thank you.
Before we go any further, I would like to ask you to please keep something in mind. An altar, altar tools, statues, and objects of power are not necessary to find fulfillment in a spiritual practice. It does help, but ultimately, you're the temple. You are the sacred object of power and the tool necessary to conduct, amplify, and direct energy and magic. So everything else is simply a trigger object, an item that can become infused with power through your intention, care, and use. So these practices can be adapted for any occasion and reason, whether you're sitting at home in your room, resting against a tree in the woods, or casting circle in your ritual room. The only thing that is necessary is you, your intention, and your willingness to commit. So, let us begin. Let's find the discipline within, the commitment, the dedication, the focus, so that we can practice our spirituality in a way that truly resonates with us, so that we can explore spiritual principles and rituals, so that we can induce spiritual experience to cultivate and develop our spirituality even deeper. And this can look like anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. How it looks will truly depend upon you and where you pull your inspiration. I pull from my Wiccan roots, and this in some ways makes me feel like a child, filled with wonder and excitement and love for the god and goddess. When I set up my altar, I feel an instant connection that is so old, it stems from lifetimes of practice and love. I hope you enjoy. I hope this inspires you and motivates you to practice your spirituality as authentically as you possibly can. Many blessings. By the powers of earth, by the inspiration of air, by the virtues of water, and by the force of fire, I invoke the most holy elements and ask that this space be made fit, worthy, holy, pure, in the name of the god and the goddess, so mote it be. In honor of the north, blessed gnomes, may you always be welcomed here. In honor of the east, blessed sylphs, may you always be welcomed here. In honor of the west, blessed undines, may you always be welcomed here. And in honor of the south, blessed salamanders, may you always be welcomed here. So mote it be. Holy ancestors, blood of blood, bone of bone, spirit to spirit, and soul to soul, I call to thee from across the veil and ask that you be present and follow this holy, divine, guiding light to be safe here with me in this sacred space. May our relationship grow and deepen each and every day. In your holy names, Amen. All hail to the goddess of the moon and stars, blessed lady of eternity, goddess of countless names. I call to thee and I ask that you be present in my life, today, now, and always. As our relationship grows, may I experience you more fully each and every day. Most blessed, most holy, most sacred, and most eternal goddess, in your blessed, holy, and eternal name, so mote it be, so shall it be. It is so, and it is done. All hail the Lord of the green earth. Blessed horned Father, I honor thee. I call to thee and I ask that you be present within this space and that our relationship grow each and every day as I learn through your example in nature what it truly means to be a man, a son, and a child of the goddess. I am grateful to thee. I follow in your footsteps and in your example. Most Holy Father, I honor thee each and every day. In your blessed, holy, eternal, and sacred name, so mote it be, so shall it be. It is so, and it is done. May this incense be fit, worthy, holy, and pure to you, blessed God of the green earth, blessed goddess of the moon and stars. May you be energized, may you be nourished, and may my love reach your hearts. Most sacred, most eternal, most holy God and Goddess, as I go about my day, may my words reach your ears, may your words reach my ears, and may my prayers reach heaven and manifest on earth. Blessed be. So mote it be. Blessings upon your spiritual journey. From my heart to yours. Phoenix.
What lurks behind this unassuming storefronts in Cleveland, Ohio? It's the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. Learn the history of Wicca and the tale of those who brought it to the United States. See the tools of magic, once used by practitioners of the arcane arts. It's the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic.
Welcome back to the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic, broadcasting out of Speak with Amy C. Wilson today. She is, I'm assuming, the owner, operator of Otherworldly Waxes out of Beacon, New York. But first, some business. May 16th, it's halfway to Halloween flea market presented by Black Market Records. Not sure if we're going to be vending, but it's a worthwhile thing for you to participate in. It's an outdoor event. We urge you to, find it. I'll put a link in the comments here. Find it, get your tickets, and go, because, you know, there still is a pandemic, everyone. And we should behave accordingly. Also, this Sunday, we're going to have a pretty amazing event via our Zoom. My dear friend, Hagen von Tulian, is going to give us a Chaos Magic primer. Hagen, I've known him for many years. He is one of the most learned people in Chaos Magic going, and really thrilled to host him here. You can buy your tickets for that at bucklandmuseum.org. If you go to the org/shop, you can find it right there. It's $30, and it's like an hour and a half, and well spent time and money to learn from Hagen. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk to Amy C. Wilson. Hi, Amy.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
So, where are you? What's behind you?
This is actually my shop, Otherworldly Waxes, here in Beacon, New York. This is my altar, some of the candles that I make, among other things, other accoutrement.
So, your candles are really beautiful.
Thank you.
Have to say. How long have you been creating them in that style?
Actually, well, I'll give you. It's a long history.
Tell us about you.
I've actually been working for Otherworldly Waxes, I believe, since 2006.
Okay.
And the store was handed down to me when the previous owner, Dr. Catherine Riggs Ferguson, retired. So I carried the store forward. So I learned how to make candles. Not these particular type of candles, but the 7-day pull-out dress candles, not so much with the glitter, but with other things, since probably 1992. I've worked in several different occult and metaphysical shops throughout the city during my duration of practice.
Oh, okay. So would love to know which shops you worked at.
Well, I was in with an infamous crew when I first started. So
really?
Yeah. They used to own Lady of the Moon.
Okay.
So I worked, that was my first career working in occult shops in the city.
What was Lady of the Moon on?
It used to be, well, she moved around a lot. It used to be on St. Mark's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I think it was a very short-lived shop. They weren't exactly on the up and up, which when I was younger, I didn't realize that. But I've worked in various online metaphysical shops throughout the years, as well as, Otherworldly Waxes, and just, I've trained in different groups. I actually studied Wicca 101 at Enchantments back in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the beginning of me actually learning more about the practice opposed to the magical principles of magic. So it's,
cool.
My history is a bit sordid.
So that's really neat. I was just talking to my assistant Cara about maybe us doing a Zoom class where she could teach like 101 stuff person to person, because I think that's something that's like, things like pandemics, right? That kind of like personal teacher kind of thing is kind of disappearing. So
yeah, I actually I teach 101 classes out of the shop here, and I had to move to the Zoom platform. And all I can say is the pandemic has taught me a lot about technology in a very quick point of time.
Yeah. It's it's been a year, right? You'd think that we'd know all about this stuff now.
Yeah, I would think I would be like an expert at this point, but apparently not.
Yeah. So you had reached out to me. You have you host a thing. Was it the Midnight Market?
I had started.
Or your friends?
I started the Full Moon Magical Market. That is part of what I do. Backtrack a little bit. Back in 2019, I started Moon Serpent and Bone Oddities and Curiosities Night Market here in the Hudson Valley. And I did it out of the premise. I mean, part of it was selfishness, that I needed more of a venue to, sell my work and expose what I do, as well as give other opportunities to individuals who follow similar paths that we do, to help them sell their products, get their word out about their business and everything that they do. So in March of 2019, I had our first Moon Serpent and Bone Oddities and Curiosities Night Market here in the Hudson Valley up in Poughkeepsie. And I was like, oh, it would be totally cool if like 100 people came, and we had about 800 people come through the door, which was really insane. I was not expecting that, but apparently there was a need for this type of market in the Hudson Valley. So I had started to do markets correlating with for the Sabbath. So I did Ostara, which was the first one, the Summer Solstice Festival, as well as Samhain and Yule. And so when the pandemic came on, all my markets clearly had to be canceled because of it, safety measures and things like that. So I decided to move to a virtual platform, and with that came the Full Moon Magical Market, and that was actually supposed to be an in-person market as well, and that was supposed to be just strictly witchcraft, or witch-related occult metaphysical items. So I ended up transferring everything to an online platform, and it's been an amazing experience because it gives me a range of people that I can work with outside of the New York, Connecticut, New Jersey area. Like, I've been working with really fantastic crafters, witches, occultists from all over the US and Canada. So I've really met such a beautiful, amazing array of individuals that I've been very fortunate to work with and on this platform.
Yeah, and that's how we really started communicating, because you reached out to us, and I actually did kind of a video walkthrough of the museum here for
everybody. You got a lot of positive responses from it. Like, everybody's totally excited. I have a lot of my own clients are like, well, we're going to Cleveland this summer, so expect hopefully more visitors. Excellent.
Yeah, just tell them order tickets online at bucklandmuseum.org. Can't just have you show up, people. I'm sorry. You show up on a Saturday and you expect to come in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to go.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Limited to 6 people at a time. Judica Ellis, the great writer, said now is the time to go see the Buckland Museum, though, because now you get an intimate tour of it instead of just all right, everybody in. So I think Judica was right. So yeah. Your next one is on Saturday, April 24th, which that hasn't happened yet. That's in a couple days, right?
Yeah, that's this Saturday. Yeah, so I'm crunching for that. So that's going to be up. And then
so thanks for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us about this. People in the audience don't realize that we're actually leading up to something here. So
it's about magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's the big reveal. Yeah. So, and we should probably talk about that. So when we were talking about this, you were so impressed about the passion of the museum.
Yes.
Oh, I want to say I noticed that there is no comments so far. So if you have a comment, please. You have a question for Amy? You have a question for me? Please pop in there. So let's see. You knew that I had a great interest in a shop in New York City called the Magical Child.
Yes.
And, you know, you had said something about, you know, I do have some containers from the Magical Child.
Just a couple.
And I got like, I mean, I started getting a little like obsessive about it, right? I was like, hey, what's going on with those containers? How's this going? Because, so to me, the Magical Child is, I would see Guar when I was a kid, and I wandered in there and I bought a copy of the Thoth Tarot deck, wandered back to Cleveland, and I was just like, that was pretty cool. I wonder what that weird shop I went into when I was in New York. And then years later, I didn't realize, or I finally realized just how important it was. Our founder, Raymond Buckland, spent a lot of time in that shop. He was dear friends with somebody that we'll talk about, Herman Slater, and of course, Eddie Basinski.
Mm-hmm.
He, Peter Lavenda tells an incredible story about Ray meeting him in the back of the Warlock shop, which was at 300 Henry Street in Brooklyn Heights, which I've gone to on a pilgrimage. I mean, it's gone really, but I've gone there many times and just wondered about like the things that went on behind the scenes there. So, yeah, how did you get these incredible pieces? What do they mean to you, and what does it mean to you that you've donated them to the Buckland Museum?
Well, first, you know, when we first started corresponding regarding, you know, the museum and everything, it meant on a personal level, it meant a lot to me, because I think it's important, especially for now, like, you know, people who are, you know, being introduced to the craft, to understand the history outside of like the history that you'll hear like about the Salem witch trials. Like there's so much more to magic. And I think, you know, you hosting a place that gives a foundation and a place for people to go and actually learn from the different styles of magical practice is so important. So when I started to really think about it, and not to get all woo-woo, but like intuitively, like I felt like a lot of these items that I inherited should be forwarded to the museum itself, because I think it's important for people to understand and see how magic has evolved through the ages, you know, from, you know, simple talismans that maybe our ancestors had made to actual powdered incense and, you know, candles, and how they're utilized throughout history. And, you know, as we project forward, I see the craft evolving so rapidly in different ways of doing things. I mean, there's a lot of pop magic out there. I mean, some witches are poo-poo, some are yay. It's magic. It's the gateway drug. Just get you in the door. So I think it's important to have that background. And for me, the Magical Child in my mind and in my heart, I feel is the root of the tree of magic within the New York City magical culture. And I think, you know, throughout the US, there hasn't been one person I haven't worked with that I know of that has never heard of the Magical Child. I mean, there's infamy all around it. And, you know, I've had friends that worked there, known a lot of people that have gone there. I myself have shopped there. And I remember my first experience there and walking around the corner from Bed Bath & Beyond and Filene's basement and like stumbling on the shop. And I was like, oh, what's this place? And I just remember the feeling and the sensation that I had when I first walked in. And I saw the water fountain and the altar, and it just felt normal. Like I felt like I should have been there. Because like my personal history, like I'm not a hereditary witch. I grew up, my father is a psychic medium. He used to read tea leaves. So a lot of my personal experience is through psychic mediumship and I like to call it soothsaying and random occult books that my father collected while I was growing up. So when I stepped into the Magical Child, like I felt like this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And I never thought at at the ripe age of 18 that this personal experience would actually land into my lap. You know, I would have never, ever, ever thought that I would be owning things from the shop ever. I was like, I'm just going in here to buy a book or like some tarot cards or some herbs or some incense. Never did I ever think that, you know, it would be a part of my life to this degree. So, you know, as the time went on, the child, I believe, closed in 1999, and the previous owner of Otherworldly Waxes, Dr. Catherine Riggs Bergeson, acquired a lot of the old merchandise, such as the herbs, the incenses, the oils, like the bag. I gave you an old shopping bag. and different like amulets and all these things. And it was really cool. Isn't that great?
Look at this.
Isn't it great?
This is incredible.
And it's in pristine condition. Like some of the books that I sent you, they still have the wrap on them.
Yeah. I keep thinking, like, how do I frame this?
Yeah. It needs a frame.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly how, I don't know if she purchased it on auction or it was given to her or anything like that. Like, I'm not really sure how she acquired it. But then back in, I think, maybe 2011, 2012, I could be off on the time frame, Catherine decided to retire. And at that time, our storefront in the city, which was on 7th Street between First and A, closed. You know, it's like one of those New York City things, like, you know, your lease expires and all of a sudden your rent's like 5 times it was before. Yeah. So she decided to relocate upstate, and she wrapped up the store and brought it upstate. And then I moved up, I think, a year after she did. And we just started working together out of her home. And she decided to retire, and she handed the store down to me. And with that happening, I just thought I was just going to inherit Otherworldly Waxes. And I was like, okay, this is really cool because I've been doing this for years. This is fun. Yeah. This is like a dream come true kind of thing. And then she's like, oh, I have all this magical child stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, it's just 1 or 2 things, but it's tons of incenses and oils, which I sent you a video before. Maybe I can, you know, spin around a little bit and show you guys. And I keep it on display at the shop. And, you know, I've had people inquire about items and things like that. And, you know, I'm kind of apprehensive because, you know, I love them because they mean a lot to me. Like, they mean a lot to other people. And, you know, when I saw your museum, I was like, it should go here. A bunch of the items should go. And some of the stuff I do sell, like I have tons and tons of old books, you know, things that, you know, there's just way too much of. And amulets and seals and little things like that. So, you know, I've been trying to get them out there and get them to people who are interested in them. Like, but my goal is to have them admired and adored and share those memories with others.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And speaking of amulets, I just want to point out that I just got this today. I'm so excited. It's a Baphomet amulet that came from Thailand. A gentleman named Peter Jenks hooked me up with this. Isn't this incredible?
Oh, wow.
The creation of this. Are you familiar with the book Thai Occult Books? The Thai Occult book?
Oh, no.
Came out a few years ago. Oh, it's incredible. So anyway, that was just me all excited about that. So right down here, we have a comment from my partner in the museum, Tony. And she says, we're very glad that you have shared these items with the museum for everyone to enjoy. And,
I'm very grateful you guys, you know, put together a museum for people.
It's one of those things that, like, I guess if you build it, they will come. Because I was like, I don't know if anybody's going to be into this, but people come all day long. I'm just like, all right, come on in. Let's talk about witchcraft and talk about our founder, Raymond Buckland.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this piece right here, though.
Is that controlling, compelling, commanding? No,
Yeah.
this little blur. Yeah, yeah. It's
I
one of my
really-
favorite blends.
Look at this right here.
Yes, the old label.
I
Yeah.
guess I can turn this upside down. I mean, did Herman do this? I don't know.
I don't know.
Herman or Eddie or just
I don't
something
know.
that
A
came
lot of the jars have that old, I don't know if you would call it calligraphy type writing on it. But
Yeah.
whoever did it, their writing was impeccable. I
Yeah.
can barely sign my name and make it legible.
Yeah, this is beautiful. So, do you know how to recreate this? Do you have the recipe?
I do.
Because we talked about maybe you blending some of this sort of thing and having it available in our gift shop.
Yeah,
And
I would be honored.
What do you
to.
think?
I would
it's
be
good.
honored to. I have the formulary, so I can. It's all on index cards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
That-
I have all that.
great.
Yeah.
we have Rosemary Ray's herbalism index cards,
Oh wow.
which are just so cool. Just this is long before you sourced from even like really real catalogs.
Yeah.
I
I miss having I have some vendors that I insist that they still send me their catalogs.
Yeah.
They update them and everything, but just touching them. Like when I got everything for Otherworldly Waxes, including the Magical Child thing, there's just boxes upon boxes of old papers and old handwriting. And I still have, I try to organize them in some weird way.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's weird to touch them. It's like just history,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid to touch them. Make sure I don't have oils on my hands.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Yes.
You don't need gloves, but wash your hands.
Yes.
So here, is this Luck Mystic?
Lucky Mystic. Yes. I tried to send you guys things that sounded magical.
Okay.
So,
What
that was
is this for?
Lucky Mystic.
Yeah, please create a spell or give me some advice on the best use of the Lucky Mystic oil.
And I think it actually still holds its scent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is really amazing.
This has just exploded.
You're gonna have dreams tonight.
I had dreams last night. I haven't told everybody this, but there's people watching. I guess I got my second vax shot yesterday, and my dream life is usually kind of weird, but this was like aggressive, and I could feel the COVID kind of coursing through my body and trying to take its hold.
I felt that when I got my second one, I felt like there was someone standing in the room.
Yeah.
Me. Yeah, it was like kind of creepy, and it was like that heavy kind of, and I was like, oh God. Because I typically try to keep my home sealed from any sort of transient energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this felt a little ominous. I was like, I don't know what this is, and you're not invited.
So this one took me a little bit of time to figure out what it said, but it's the dragon blood.
Yes. Dragon's blood oil.
Now, this would have been dragon's blood oil from the original.
Yes. From the original Magical Child. All the oil bottles I sent are all the original formulas. I have not touched those.
This is like, you didn't just say, oh, this is a great label. Wow.
Yes, it's the actual magic inside. I have my favorite here is I have the Black Arts oil, which I absolutely love. It sits on the shelf, on the top shelf, and the label's so on. So I'm like, oh, this is super creepy. Yay.
Wow.
And it's the original one from the shop. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't touch like any of the oils or the incenses, the containers. I do not create anything new and put them into the Magical Child containers. I just strictly work with the containers that I have for Otherworldly Waxes.
which I should probably bring that out because I actually use this. I'm not really one to play with the toys, but we have a beautiful magic circle in here where some days when I get here early enough, I like to find my center, like to sit, kind of like plan out my day as far as like good energy out, good energy in. So I burned
Mystic Seer.
just a
I
little
sent
bit.
you a lot of psychic stuff. Well, I sent you Dragon's Blood, so you'll be protected too. That's the blend that I make now, yes.
This is extraordinarily powerful. So, tell me about this.
Mystic Seer, that is the most popular among my psychic clientele. I like it too, but when I mix it up, I get a little like, for a bit, like I'm already super sensitive to things. So when I burn that, it's, I don't know, like I'm in the clouds floating with like dragons and unicorns and fairies and stardust. It's kind of sends me over the edge. But yeah, it's really good for any sort of psychic work. You can burn it. If you don't like burning incense, you can take the powdered incense, and I always suggest like putting it in a little mason jar with a piece of fabric on top with the holes in the lid and just shake it. And so if you don't want to burn the actual incense itself, and it's self-igniting, so you don't need any charcoal. You just hit a match to it, it will burst into flames and just gently blow it out. But start small and work larger because it will smoke you out of the room depending upon the burn power.
Yeah, this was extraordinarily intense, I found. So, Brian, hey, how you doing? I heard you're coming to town soon. Should come by. I'd love to see you. This is my old employer right here. Very cool, neat guy. Taught me everything I know about doing this kind of operation. So, Elias says, original bottles and oils for the museum. That is so very cool. So that is our, he essentially was our house reader, and then COVID happened, but you can find him a lot of times at the bookstore next door to us. Elias, people were in today wondering when you were going to be around next. And I said, I think probably Friday. So let's see here. Joe says, I hit to Salem for Halloween holidays going this year. I'm not a believer in magic. Ah, come on. But enjoy all the aspects of the culture and history about it. Yet to be to the museum down the street from me. Will visit. All right. Well, you're always welcome if you're talking about the museum over here. I mean, I'm assuming that's what he means, right? Okay.
You can come visit here too.
Yeah. So you are in Beacon. So tell us about the little space that you're in there.
Well, I have a classroom in an old high school, and I currently rent the classroom space to run the shop out of. I am predominantly mail order now instead of having a storefront, and I was vending events as well. But the really great thing about this, I am in the old high school and I'm in the old art room apparently. And for me, not to overly date myself, but it's kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I get to, still be in high school and make magic and be awkward and weird.
Oh, that is great. So let's continue the show and tell. Just, okay. Couldn't quite read this. White oak
bark, yeah.
Okay. So what would I use white oak bark for?
White oak bark. That's a good question, honestly. The reason why I sent it is because I already have white oak bark here in the shop. I was like, I have a bunch of it. But that one had the magical child label on it. I mean, a lot of those herbs are probably easily, if not, magical child closed in 99, so they're at least 20 plus years old, if not older. Yeah. And it has a great handwriting on it again.
Yeah. Really, guys, I gotta step up my game. You know, like people come here expecting a certain kind of show, but I haven't given anyone like that. That's really cool. So we have some other things here. I'm going to what I do with this stuff.
Magic, it disappeared.
Okay, so I have the talismans around here somewhere. I have to find them. What do I do with them? So, how did you get into this stuff in the first place? Where did you? Did you wander into a bookstore and you're like, oh?
Well, like I said, you know, growing up, my father was a reader. He's retired, so to speak, if you can really retire from that. But growing up, he used to read tea leaves. And he would have clients come to the house, and he had like this little porcelain tea set with playing cards painted on the side and matching cups. So you would have people come and he would read for them. And then we'd always have like a different entourage of psychics that would come to the house and visit. So for me, it was always kind of like a natural thing. And I've always seen things, heard things, just intuitively knew things. I was that annoying kid that always finished other people's sentences growing up. And I just kind of always knew I could predict things for people. It was just kind of like this natural thing. And then I could always see spirits. And when I was in high school, my parents had moved to this old farmhouse, and I was in the bedroom when this bedroom was very active. And I remember waking up and seeing a little old woman in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth. And she was plump and short, and she was just kind of doing something with her hands, maybe embroidering or something like that. And I remember talking to my neighbor at the time, whose grandparents used to live in the house that my parents had moved to. And she's like, oh, that sounds like my grandmother. And, you know, because I would just talk about it like it was an everyday thing, which also made me very unpopular at school and a weird kid. And then, like I saw their dog, you know, I had my first astral experience there, which was terrifying because I didn't know what it was as a teenager. I think I was like 15. And like I said, my father always had different various occult books around, but like the older books, and I didn't know what to make of them too much because I just didn't, you know, the language was very old and, you know, different seals. I actually have some books I could show you that he handed down to me. And so that was my experience growing up. Like I never thought of my father as a witch. I just always thought he was a psychic. I know it's like some witches like, well, if you're psychic, you're a witch too. Or, you know, everybody has their own kind of definition of it. And then when I was 18, I moved to New York. And that was a whole other experience. And I used to just walk around a lot. And I remember I visited my roommate. She worked at a coffee shop down on the Lower East Side. And I decided to walk around the corner to go back to where we lived. And this woman grabbed me by my arm and like literally like pulled me into her shop. And she had like a little like metaphysical shop, and it was very, very small. I don't even think it was well known. I think she was trying to do something, but maybe it never really took off. And she sat me down, and I could see she had her cards out, and I was like, I don't want a reading or whatever. She's like, no, I want you to read for me. And I was like, okay, but I don't know anything about tarot cards. So that's kind of how it started. She's like, you see things. And like, I've never had anybody approach me that way. And like, she didn't ask me for money or anything. So I didn't feel like she was trying to scam me out of something. Because, you know, you get a lot of those people too. So that's kind of how it started. And then since that point, like I read for her, and then I started working with this notorious group, and I was reading for them, and I learned a lot about magic through them.
You keep saying notorious group. Is this a big reveal that's coming up? Or...
No, I'm not going to talk about it. It's actually it's my dirty secret. We're allowed to have dirty secrets. So, but I learned a lot about magic from them, and not the most positive of it. And so that kind of left me in a weird space. And so, I went around, and eventually I found, I knew of enchantments, and I found out that they were doing a 101 class with Joe and Jezebel, who used to do it at the time. And when I took their 101 class, I really learned a lot, about, the religious aspect itself, but more about personal power and how to work energy opposed to trying to force it or manipulate it in a negative way. So that's a bit of and then it just spiraled from there. And I just, over the years, I've just worked with various people, became friendly with various, people, had, friends, like I said, that worked at the Child. And then, I was fortunate enough to start working at Otherworldly Waxes.
Yeah.
And, I really learned a lot, like, and of course, like reading and totally nerding out.
Yeah. Now, you said that the first book, you had told me offline that the first book you ever read on candle magic was one written by our founder, Raymond Buckland. Was it a practical candle magic?
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah, it still has the old cover on it with the old candles, and I think it's gray around the sides. Yeah, that was my first one.
Then you found it useful?
I did. I really did. And the thing I liked about it, it wasn't so complex and abstract, where a lot of, metaphysical books or occult books can be like very like intense and wordy, and you kind of at least for me, I get lost very easily. Like I'm a skimmer when I read. I'm such a skimmer. Like I don't have the patience for it. And I just found that, his candle magic book was very practical and was very easy to read and very easy to understand. Like I felt that he was actually speaking to me instead of trying to peacock the whole thing.
That's somebody recently, like I guess a big name pagan said, well, there's not a lot of mystery in Ray's books or something like that. I'm like, well, Ray really wanted to give people the information so they could go out and do that, and you hide behind certain things and people are just going to be like, I don't get it, and go away. And I'm sure that's great for a lot of people, but I totally love Ray's democratization of the mysteries, I guess, is a good way to kind of think of it. And I think, there's a place for that, and I'm glad that you had found that.
Yeah, I mean, like I felt it made magic and the practice of it and the religious aspects of it easier to comprehend.
Yeah,
because it can get really heavy and thick, and which I appreciate, and I appreciate those people who have the patience to sort through it. I'm just too all over to like really focus in that way. I mean, I can, but it takes too much mental effort for me.
You're busy making magic.
I am.
So Tony says, what do you remember about the magical child? Any memories? And do you read tea leaves as well?
Well, the magical child, like I said, like I walked in and my first real memory was that fountain. Like for some reason, I was just oddly drawn to it when I first walked in. And then I just loved like walking down the aisles. In the herb aisle, they had that big white scale to weigh your herbs on. And I just remember like, wow, like this is really wild.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I was totally into the satanic book section. It was like, this is awesome. Because like it was like so, you know, for me, it was like taboo. Like my history growing up, like I was baptized Presbyterian, confirmed Methodist. It's like, ooh, this is evil. I love it. Because I mean, I just naturally like the dark stuff. So, I mean, those were like the books, like, you know, honestly, all the books. Like if I could have, I would have bought every book in that place and tried to read it, but I probably would have stayed to the simpler text.
Yeah. So I actually want to talk to you about some of the books offline. Like, so do you have multiple copies of certain things? Because there's certain magical child books that I've been dying to find. So Brenda says, I really loved that Buckland made it so easy to understand his books, and before he passed, trying to answer our questions online. Yeah, that's one thing I loved about Ray was he was such a giver of his time.
Yes.
Like I was telling Tiffany, who she quoted me here. Hi, Tiffany. I talked to her on her Witch Lab Wednesday last night, and I talked about how Ray, he always had time for me, and that is, you know, a sign of a really great teacher.
That really is. I mean, you know, my experience over the years, my best and favorite teachers and mentors were the individuals that actually took the time to explain and open up about their personal experiences and their practices. I completely agree. Yeah. I've never met Ray, but he's always seemed like a very gentle, kind soul.
Yeah, he was. He was very generous with his time, very patient, and just really awesome guy. So Brenda Dolan says, hoping to get to the museum soon. Hoping to host you, Brenda. Buy your tickets online at bucklandmuseum.org. Don't just show up, because it's just such a bummer when people show up, right? And I'm like, hey, so where did you come from? And they're like, you know, Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, no.
Okay, you didn't look at the website before you left.
It's hard. I do everything by appointment too.
Yeah.
It's hard to juggle. And then everybody wants something at the last minute. I'm like, no.
Yeah. So we are going to, I should probably talk about that offline. But Bernadette says, great museum, heart. Thank you, Bernadette. I remember you, and you were a great visitor. So thank you very much. That it's you know, for all the people that we get here, many of them really spend some time. Like, I get to know them in the hour and a half that they're here. So thank you for visiting, Bernadette. We appreciate it. So tell me, could you pull out some of the candles behind you? Because they're just so beautiful. Just
thank you.
So gorgeous.
They're all hand glittered. This one is actually Best Love candle. All the seals that I use at the shop were designed by Dr. Catherine Riggs Bergeson, and you can find her book, A Candle Therapy. I believe on Amazon. It's out of print, but I think it's available on Kindle. So you too can make these candles if you don't want to order directly from me. And I also teach classes how to make these candles twice a year.
Oh, wow.
And then we have increased communication. And all this is hand-laid glitter. If you follow my Instagram, Otherworldly Waxes, I sometimes put on the fast motion video. I don't even know what the kids are calling it nowadays. But you can see me glitter. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to actually cover them in the glitter. And they're all carved, ritually charged. All the spell ingredients, I'm trying to figure out where my camera is included in the bottom. So everything is ritually done and ritually charged.
Now, are these rituals that you've created yourself, or are they ones that kind of were taught to you?
It's a combination. In Catherine's book, where I get the seals from, I use her seals. When I worked for her at the shop, I did it to the way that she does it, and that's all listed in the book. Since I've owned the shop, I put a little bit of extra oomph to it, and sometimes they start working before they're even made. So I add a little more of my mojo and my personal expertise to it, so to speak.
That's very cool. I'm flipping through your Instagram right here, trying to see if I could find one of these.
The videos.
Yeah, all I'm finding is kind of like the back and forth videos here. But I've watched them before. Really cool, really extraordinary. So a few years ago, I guess it must have been 3 or 4 years ago, a guy named Anderson Slade.
Yeah.
And Julian here says, does Amy know anything about the Magical Child documentary?
I actually spoke to Anderson Slade years back, maybe 3 years back. And I actually I shipped him some jars, and the one shattered in the box, unfortunately, which really sucked. But I spoke to him about it. We were going to do something, and then it just never came to fruition. So, but I heard he's still working on it. It might even be done. I'm not really sure.
It's he didn't call. He didn't let us know that he was coming. He rolled in. I guess he filmed some stuff. Maybe he didn't think we would care. But you know, this was back when the museum was about maybe like an eighth the size it is now. Maybe like 150 square feet, if that. So I don't know if he got any footage that was worth anything, but he seems to have disappeared recently. So I want to get a hold of him, talk to him about some stuff. Yeah. So did you ever get a chance to meet pretty much my favorite modern witch besides Ray, Leo Martello?
No.
But I imagine that you heard some stories about Leo.
I have heard some stories about Leo. I've heard he's a character.
Yeah, he truly was. And we have some beautiful pieces. We were donated his altar last year by a gentleman out in Salem. And so cool. And I have it in a really special place in the museum. And people I think are really cool, I'll be like, hey, you got to take a look at this. So I pull out certain things that are really like mind-blowing. Intense individual. But you never got a chance to meet Leo.
No.
So, what's next? Are you developing a new type of candle? Are you experimenting? Are you going deeper?
There's so much coming up. Outside of the markets are expanding. We're doing our first in-person market June 18th. So it is an Oddities and Curiosities night market.
Okay.
And that will be live and in the Hudson Valley. And there's a lot of regulations that, we have to abide by for safety standards. So, and they're always changing. So I've been trying to plan around that. For Otherworldly Waxes, despite it being COVID, where I thought, in the beginning of COVID, people were more interested in toilet paper than magic candles. But now my business has been expanding rapidly, like too rapidly. I literally keep running out of candles. I don't know if you can see, I had to fill my shelves with ones that are actually going out.
Yeah.
This is all the candles that I have, and I can't seem to keep them in. But I have about 6 businesses that carry my custom candles. I am also teaching and lecturing, and I am starting online full courses that will be downloadable and purchasable through the website. So that's like a whole other I'm expanding the teaching part of my career as well as the business part. So
Wow.
it's been surprising since it's COVID. Like nobody's doing anything but sitting at home. But apparently, outside of ordering toilet paper on Amazon, they're ordering candles and magic. But it's been a really interesting experience for sure.
Yeah. So Tiffany wanted to know what was the title and author of that out of print book?
Oh, it is Candle Therapy. I think it's called for Life Magical Enhancement, but it's by Dr. Catherine Riggs Bergeson. I have the original one before it was published. I don't remember if it even had a title at that point because the cover's gone on it. But you can find it, Dr. Catherine Riggs Bergeson.
Have you ever thought about, would you be able to republish it?
I've been discussing it with Catherine. So we're thinking about republishing it. It's, but it will probably be a little modernized compared to the one that's out now. So that's also another talk in the works. And then I also have a book in the works of the works. So,
really?
So it's like there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I'll be.
Yeah. So I just put down there for you, Tiffany, the Candle Therapy: The Magical Guide to Life Enhancement paperback, 2003 by Catherine Riggs Bergeson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks cool. And I have little signs inside my gift shop that says, "Don't take pictures of books. If you think you'll find it cheaper on Amazon, you probably won't." But I'm guessing that's probably the only place that you could find this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a pretty decent price, and then it's on Kindle as well. So
yeah, it's I know, like, it's definitely on Kindle, but in terms of finding an actual physical copy, I've seen the prices go up really, really, really high, and then I've seen them like dirt cheap. So I don't, I guess it depends on the person if they know it's out of print or not.
Yeah, or maybe they're like, "This is knowledge I want to share. I can't gouge people for this."
Yeah.
That's kind of the philosophy I usually take with the books that I sell. But you don't get rich doing that, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So if anybody in the audience has any questions or anything that they want to shout out, let me see if I missed anything. Any of our guests chiming in. Jean Linder says, "Hello. Sorry I'm late." Jean was on the stream yesterday for Witch Lab Wednesday. So maybe Tiffany, maybe you want to talk to Amy sometime.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah. So just once again, sincerely, Tony and I really appreciate the generosity, the magical child, because Ray's history with it, and also just the general, I don't know. I've never really checked it out, but were there any real witch shops before the Warlock shop? That you think of them?
Not to my knowledge. For me, my personal experience, I only knew the Magical Child as like I said, the roots to all the other magical shops that popped up after that. Yeah. At first it was, Warlock shop. Then it, when he moved to the city, it was the Magical Child. And then, enchantments popped up, otherworldly waxes popped up, Candle Therapy popped up, Lady Moon. There was all, Morgana's Chamber, Stick, Stone, and Bone. There was tons of shops in the city. And now I just feel I think it's only enchantments left to my knowledge. I have, I rarely go to the city anymore.
Yeah. But, kind of the explosion of all of them. I know in New York, there was the occult bookstore, and that's 100-year-old business. But was it always called the occult bookstore?
I don't know.
Yeah, so.
The Strand used to have a lot of occult books. You have to really look for them.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're looking for.
But just the very nature of it right there in the name, right?
Yeah.
That's like a line in the sand that I think is important to cross.
Yes.
So, Amy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you find yourself wandering through the Great Midwest, make sure that you stop and see us here at the Buckland.
I definitely will. I think it's a point to go there now.
maybe if I don't know, we get rid of this terrible COVID soon enough, you could come and teach a class here sometime.
I would be honored.
You know,
I would really be honored.
That would be really amazing. So, all right. Well, if you want to stick around for just a minute, I want to thank you like more personally.
Absolutely. And visit me online at otherworldlywaxes.com. You'll see all my stuff there.
And also her Instagram is popping. The Otherworldly Waxes Instagram is such a cool treat. And I don't think I even realized that you were sending us things until I saw it on the gram. And I was like, what? That's cool. So Ann Wallace says Weiser was in New York City for a while. It sure was.
It was. Yeah, that's right.
I was going through, I was flipping through James Wasserman's autobiography the other day, and was remembering reading it and hearing about how amazing Weiser must have been back then.
Jen.
They come and go. So, all right. Well, thank everyone for tuning in for the latest episode of the Buckland Museum Frankenstein Radio Controls. I had mentioned this earlier, but I should mention it again. Chaos Magic Primer with Hagen von Tullian is
Do it.
coming up. Yeah, seriously, this is not to be missed. Hagen truly is one of the great occultists of the 21st century. And it's funny because, you know, when I started getting into things like chaos magic back in the 90s, it just seemed like, oh, this is so new and edgy and experimental. And now, I mean, this is classic styles of magic, which I think every magical practitioner needs to at least understand the fundamentals of this, because you might run into a situation where this is really the only kind of choice you have. And I think that a magician in the 21st century that doesn't at least have a working background or an understanding of what like chaos magic is and is not, well, you're missing out on like one of the great traditions. So
I completely agree.
Yeah, so bucklandmuseum.org. Order your tickets. It's Sunday at 5 o'clock. So, all right. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in with us. And stay witchy, my friends.
Yes.